Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast. With me, Matt. Maybe 3v3 for you all here on the fields of Dunk. A 3v3 vanilla map that was added with the British update, I'm pretty sure. Let's go through the players. Represent the allies. We have Man-O-Lom X as Royal Tank Regiment with Hammer specialization for the British Commonwealth. We have Untercommand as the United States without any commander choice yet. And we have ASAT-O as Ranger Company for the United States of America. This is the Axis. We have BH-18 going straight again with Ostdivision for the Wehrmacht. Million 866 as Panzer Tactics for the Wehrmacht. And Chewie as Panzer Tactics for the Wehrmacht. So double Wehrmacht Panzer. That could really scale well into the late game. Then we have BH-18 with Ost, which is going to be fascinating, allowing them to have some cheaper defensive field presence. Meanwhile, the Brits have already moved down here and are probably going to engage with the Pioneers here shortly. We also have the rifle sections arriving here now with their Lee Enfields. They're trying to deny the fuel here for the Germans. And with the Americans have already pushed up to the fuel here, the Germans are going to have to work a little bit hard to get their fuel. Because they chew in for a traditional 1-1-1 opening. Post-Grenadier, Inter-Grenadier. I believe... it also looks like Million did the same, which is a pretty normal one, because the Volksgrenadier can supplement your Grenadier pretty well. And it looks like we have double Volksgrenadier coming out here for BH-18. But the Panzer Tactics troops, or Panzer Division troops, are coming down to support. But the Volksgrenadier as Ostdivision is actually pretty good. Because they can be equipped with PPS Aegis when they get enough munitions. Which is a pretty damn good upgrade for them, in all honesty. Now they have become an easy target of trying to take the sandbags. But also, like the British have noticed, they're focusing on the ones behind cover there. And the Grenadiers will definitely do well in a long-range engagement there. And we'll have engagement up here with several Volksgrenadiers moving around, supporting a Grenadier. But the Americans, with the M1 Garands, will cut them to pieces at certain ranges. So they did lose their re-echelon there, however. They're trying to build the sandbags, which you don't want to do while under fire. Flash going out and a grenade as well. Oh, that's devastating for the United States right there. Oh, very devastating. But I don't think the Germans can hold this fuel. The amount of British rifle sections is just too much, and they are very good behind heavy cover. The F-43s are heading out to some grenadiers though, but it might not be enough. I think the Germans are realizing that. Apparently not. You have an MG-34 coming up here for the Ostdivision. Meanwhile, the Germans are able to secure their fuel up here again. While the British just keeps the Germans at bay down here. Smoke grenade going into, they can try and capture it. Very smart of them, actually. But will it be enough time? Another smoke grenade going out from the folks. Giving their allies some more time. But some of them can still be shot at. But the point is in German hands, giving the Germans access to both fuel points shortly. That's going to be a big deal for the German Wehrmacht. Cycling out the Volksgrenadiers for fresher ones, very good. But this firefight keeps on going, and we are seeing a Vickers machine gun arriving for the Commonwealth. This Volksgrenadier has to hold on for dear life while this MG-34 has to decide where it wants to set up. Probably this sandbag area. They can keep an eye on the point. But these Volksgrenadiers are not going to last long under the fuselage of fire coming their way. You know, the United States are making a push for the fuel point. Still no command choice from Untercommander. Several 30 cals have also been set up to cover the front line for the United States. Ooh, this is a pretty good looking to be a pretty interesting match so far. But the Volksgrenadiers might get away using the little bit of damage or accuracy receipt modifier you get by being suppressed the pins. Allow him to crawl away instead of just retreating and getting shot. Very good to see. Because I believe when you are suppressed and pinned, you actually are less likely to be hit while you aren't. So that's pretty handy. The Americans are just rushing the Germans here. The short range allowing the Americans to really use their M1 Garands to their full effectiveness. MP40 is being handed out to some of the Volksgrenadier.
The bunker is now a field hospital.
You're also seeing a bunker being set up. No Osthofen being called in. I guess they don't need those, but I think they might have just gone Ost for the more defensive capabilities. Like the heavy mortar later. And now both sides control their respective fuel points still. Although I would say not respective, but opposite fuel points. So the Germans are gonna try and clear the cover here. Yeah, just gonna use the cover. We're also seeing a medic station being prepared here by the medics. Now the Germans to operate a little bit safer. Meanwhile, the Brits have also set up a fort assembly to operate from. Oh, we've even seen the New Zealanders call in. Unique battle group available to Royal Tank, including a universal carrier with a Wasp flamethrower. The Germans are lacking AT equipment to deal with it. Well, up here, the Americans are still fighting a lot against the Wehrmacht. MG42 set up here with some Panzer Grenadiers. Riflemen rushing out. Looks like Unterkommander has gone for US Armored. Ooh, the heavy cover will protect them. Yeah, that MG42 has to get out of there. Very sucky aim for the Riflemen this time for some reason. Wasp tries to push up. Half-track is also supplementing the New Zealanders thanks to the 50 caliber. Armor-piercing bullets have been loaded on the MG34. Need to focus on that Wasp. It's getting too close. He's using the terrain for cover. Großdeutschland has been called in. Panzerfaust though, through the foliage thanks to the Fusiliers protects them. Good to see the H-18 went for the early Panzerfaust upgrades. Really helps against the early British vehicles. Or it's just allied vehicles in general. Rangers squads are coming in now for the United States. Elite infantry are able to raid your company. Looks like they're being equipped with a heat bazooka so they can deal with armored vehicles. Meanwhile, we have the half-track with the New Zealanders still in it. And the 34 is doing its best. But the 50 caliber is just too much. They can still be enforced thanks to the Sanitätsbunker. Incendiary armor piercing loaded. Only doing minimal damage, however, to the front of the half-track. The mortar is helping to support, though. It's trying to get around, but the Germans keep holding the line. Ooh, those rifles have to be cautious. If one mortar shield hits around them, they'd be in trouble. They're moving in the blob, evidently. Not a good idea, but I'm not the player here. Americans are pushing up aggressively. We have a half-track here with a flamethrower. But because of the bazooka, they have to get out of there. Oh, we have double half-track. Because the Panzer Division is going for full-on mechanized assault. They're trying to break through the machine guns. And the 50 caliber positions have not been established yet. Because if they have their 50 caliber positions up, these half-tracks would shoot through. They're still not doing that much, however. Yeah, they're being shot by so many angles. But they are doing a fair amount of damage. I just don't think they're gonna get out of here alive. Grenadiers jumped out just to get cut down anyway. Well, this Pioneers with the flamethrower still doing a lot of damage here. Yeah, we'll have the Vickers down here, and the half-track is going up for the main roads. The Germans haven't anything to stop this. Half-track is doing a lot of damage still. And looks like the rifle grades are not really hitting. Oh, I think it's rushing for the half-track. That's the 50 caliber on the allied half-track and just cut through this one. Oh, they got hit and immobilized. We also have a Command Panzer II here with an autocannon. That'll definitely be able to chew through it. Oh, horrible, horrible. Very big fight here. Looks like the British are trying to probe for the fuel point again, but the Germans are too dug in. The two on the field. Meanwhile, the Panther II command tank is being a problem. After it did go down. Rangers do have the heat bazooka. Misses. Because this thing is hit by a heat bazooka, it's done. The heat bazooka just have so much increased penetration due to the heat rocket. Oh, too close. That's very risky. Missed. Double Stuart being prepared by the US Ranger. Probably to try and deal with this vehicle. As the Rangers seem to just be getting cut down out in the open like that. Rangers have lost a lot of stuff. You also see a crowd mower in the base here for the United States Armor Company. Rifle grenade does hit the engine block of the Panzer II command tank. Also gets too slow. Germans managed to get great off on the British Vickers, and the mortar keeps yelling. So the Panzer Division and the Ost Division is working out pretty well together here. So it feels more like the Panzer Division is being supplemented by some Volksgrenadiers of the reserve. But the 222 here will definitely provide some also kind of support at long range. That will definitely be in the favor of the Germans, as we can see. Yeah, the Brits have to abandon that fight. As the Panzer force is just supporting by the 222 here. Yeah, Brits have to fall back briefly. Germans trying to take the fuel point here again, but the Americans are rushing in. The Stuart's tanks are also arriving now. The ideas might get cut down here. He got shut down at the final moment. MT-42 sitting up in the building. Panzer II is still trying to get away. Well, the fighting continues down here by the British positions by the farm. Another Panzer II command tank has showed up, which the British are lacking in gear to fight. The 50 caliber cannot pierce the front of this thing. And soon it cannot pierce the front of the 222s because they're getting Radpanzer. Which I think basically gives them... Well, it just gives them a lot of armor, basically. Half-track went down to an artillery strike or a mortar. And his Sealands running back to the forward assembly, but they're becoming a threat to all the 3 autocannons. That's a lot of firepower in a small package here for the Germans. Oh, Piets! They do have Piets, though. But the Germans can just cut down anything out in the open with these autocannons. British are suffering heavy losses there. But while this is happening, a command steward and a crowd mower is moving through the center of the United States. Stewards also moving about. I think the Americans are going for, like, preparing a cutoff. Now the crowd mower is revealing itself. But the southern flank is really failing for the British. I think they have to abandon this post. And they are. They're falling back to the base. The British defense of the forward assembly has failed. Stuart is pushing down, but the Volksgrenadiers have been equipped with Panzerfaust ahead of time. Stuart survived, though. But it's basically immobilized there. They just need one autocannon shell to penetrate. Looks like the command Stuart over here went down thanks to a pack pulled in by the Germans. Crowdmo went down as well. Stuart went down. Repairs need to be enabled for this 222. Looks like it's lost one of its wheels. We'll see Radpanzer being utilized though. Radpanzer is a really good upgrade. Really makes the 222 scale into the further parts of the game. Pioneers being called in. We also have some 25th Panzergrenadiers. One of the unique squads available to Ostdivision. And one of the better Panzergrenadiers in the game, actually. Can be equipped with a lot of very nice gear. Like scope, Sturmgewehrs, MG42s, and even the shortened Panzerschreck, which is just better than the normal one. 15 Panzergrenadiers called in, which is the basic Panzergrenadier squad to be able to Wehrmacht Panzer, Sturmgewehrs, and MG34s. A lot of good gear overall. Indeed, they're getting the MG34 with Sturmgewehrs. Pretty good package for them. They make them deal with units and provide suppressive fire. Smoke rain on the Pioneers. Oh, that's a smoke rain. You also have an anti-tank team, probably hunting for the Panzer II command tank. But they've been suppressed. Artillery called in here, destroying the American machine gun. Very hard position to be for a tank hunter team. Bazooka misses. They are too much fire. You don't want to use bazookas frontally generally. The 222s are still being a problem here for the British. And because of the Radpanzer, they can survive the shot from the armor-piercing rifles frontally. The tank rifles are not really working. The Germans have really secured this farm here, what's left of it. Not that you can call much of it left. Good play here from the Wehrmacht today. Really using their coordination. If the caliber has been up by the United States though. Which makes it a little bit harder for the Germans to push up. Also with the vertical supplementing it. But looks like we do have the Ghost Toystand moving in though. Throwing a grenade onto it. You can also Panzerfaust the building, by the way. Yeah, trying to clear it out with their rifle fire. You choose to destroy the fort assembly. Flag emplacement being set up by the Ostdivision. Looks like they're doing very good at digging in here. 25th are getting their upgraded Panzerschreck. Making them just exceptionally good at dealing with armor. Probably the most accurate rocket-based anti-infantry weapon you can get is the upgraded Panzerschreck. Only available to the 25th and the Fallschirmjägers, I'm pretty sure. Which is why the Fallschirmjägers with the upgraded Panzerschreck is just so good. A2 Sherman arriving, and as well as a command A2 Sherman for the United States. What are the British getting? The British are still figuring out what to do, I think. Ah, they might be going for an Anzac heavy cavalry battle group, which arrives with a Churchill. That's most definitely what they're going for. They just need the fuel. That'll definitely provide an issue for the Germans. Yep, here they are. Anzac heavy cavalry battle group. Churchill Mark 7 and 2 New Zealanders. Black position set up here, but that will not stop a Sherman. Yeah, flag down up there. I think the United States are preparing for a counter-assault up here. The Germans are lacking AT. They only have the F1 and 1 pack, which is not going to cut it. Especially if they can take out the pack quick. So the Churchill's going to prepare to go for the other flank, though. Pillbox established here by the Germans. But the Churchill will probably have a problem against the 25th if they can get a rocket in on him. Sherman up here taking out the command tank. F1 is trying to provide some support fire. Not penetrating. One shell's landing as well. And artillery barrage being called in as well by the command Sherman. So I think this farm is basically dead. It's landing very widespread though, but one shell hits straight on the house. Destroying the farm basically entirely. And F1 being taken out here by the rear from the Sherman. Now the Allies are pushing in. Meanwhile the Churchill's also preparing to push up. Now the Churchill, if you're playing as tank, has the unique thing of having both an officer and a machine gun on the top, so it can deal with a lot of things. Just has precaution with these 25th. 1, 2, 3 down. 25th to turn that rocket. Oh, it missed! Oh, that's not good for the Germans. Twin high explosives though, which will... Second one also misses. Now it'll be really good dealing with infantry. Because its base shot is now just high explosives. Germans flanking the bunker up here, so the Germans have lost an awful flank. They need to regroup. Looks like the command tank actually made it out of there. Heavy tanks are being prepared now by one of the Panzer tactics. Or access to get them. Churchill's pushing up, looks like the 25th suffered a big loss. They're still alive, but falling back. Panzer Grenadiers are making a push for it. Problem is they have to get very close to hurt the Churchill, because they only have the anti-tank mines. They're bunching up. Oh, and they're being cut to pieces. Shermans are pushing towards the German base, though. The Wehrmacht is suffering very heavy losses on this flank. And the A2 Shermans are just chewing through them. Mostly stuff here don't have Panzerfausts. Pillbox down here about to go down to the Anzac assault. Looks like I switched to still the high explosive. Just need to focus. And wants to aim for them MG42, I think. MG44, I mean. That's not really hitting out much due to the foliage in the way still. Germans are going towards the German base. Command stuck on the field. They also do have a pack. One Sherman down. Command Sherman down. Pack crew down. Shermans have to pull back. That's too much fire. Officer down as well. Those are the Germans have barely held on here. Well, the Churchill and the Anzac continue their push towards the remains of the farm. The 25th Panzer Grenadiers are ready to be deployed again. Because they have with scopes, Sturmgewehrs and their Panzers right now, so they have some mobile firepower. Artillery being utilized by the Churchill, which yes, they actually do. It's a very good support, infantry support tank, as it's kind of its purpose. It is called an infantry tank after all. So American Sherman's going for it again, pretty cheeky. Using high explosives on this pack. Killing the crew. Smoke dropped in. An American rifleman and an 80 gun is waiting back here. 19 rifleman, just an 80 gun on the recon team. Several mortar stuff from the Rangers are present. They kind of bunched up though. But the mortar is definitely shelling the German base, putting them in some kind of bad situation. Stuk G is being prepared though by BH-18 of the Ostdivision. Artillery called in front of the Churchill, which I don't think will do much but delay it. Stuk G on the field there. Man, Panzer II has to be cautious. Artillery call in here by the command steward. Command Panzer II almost went down. This is where you would want to have the Waffenkammer because your base is being shelled constantly. So the armor being on the flank here to try and supplement. Panzer Grenadiers are moving in alongside the Panzer F1, clearing out the AT gun. You remember, Panzer Grenadiers do fight a lot better when they're fighting near tanks or vehicles. That's kind of the whole point. They get big buffs for fighting near vehicles. Looks like the officer's crew was used to man the AT gun this time. Big Sherman push coming over the road. A2's coming through the smoke, getting a critical hit on the F1, but the command Sherman went down. This F1 is doing a great job. Ooh, avoiding being killed there. But the shells keep landing. Panzer II down. Went out of control to an artillery strike.
Long-range artillery is at your command.
And the Allies keep bombing the German base. They even set up a repair station back here. And a forward assembly. Well, forward headquarters. Mine spur established here evidently, but only anti-infantry mines. Another Stuk command tank arriving. The stock down here is pushing up, forcing the Churchill back evidently with some good penetrations. Was forcing the Churchill to be in anti-armor mode. They cannot deal with the infantry as effectively. And the Germans are trying to encircle and threaten. Very good. They're trying to set up a field of fire here. And the Volksgrenadiers stay behind. Oh, it actually took out the Churchill! We also have the Volksgrenadiers right behind here supporting. Yet going out, misses. Now the 2-2 reveals itself. Very good play there from the Ostdivision, but they've been cut off. If they don't have these points, the Germans are not going to get any resources.
A fresh officer has arrived.
So the Germans are in a very bad spot right now. If they cannot push the Allies back from there, they'll die. If one needs to give some repairs. Oh, we also have some artillery going in here now on the German positions. They're being called in by what exactly? Not sure what... Oh, it's a howitzer. Oh, a sexton! I completely missed that amongst the blob of British troops. Yeah, sexton will definitely do it. I'll threaten the German positions. The mortars keep shielding the Panzer forces bases. Probably why they got a mortar here for counter barrage duty. Which will work because all the mortars are bunched up. Which makes them more vulnerable to counter barraging. As you can see. Like that one mortar has just dealt with most of the allied mortars. That's why I wanted to kind of split them up. Veterans here 5 Volksgrenadiers, and one of them even have a Panzerschreck. Oh, they also dug into the Stuk. Very nice. I don't think it has the best angle of view here. But it will help the defend it. Yeah, well, we have Rangers trying to push up here on the German base now. And the Germans still need to take this point or they're not going to get anything. So the Panzergrenadiers are attempting it, but that's going to be a very hard sell. Packs are opening up fire there. Trying to get that A2. There's also Sherman just holding the line here. I think the Germans need to relocate something to help supplement because they're just staying down here cut off. And so they are holding on this very well despite being cut off. The German bases are suffering. They cannot maintain this. Sherman took some big shots there. F1 needs to get into focus here. Oh, he got the Sherman! Very good shot! This F1 is being very effective. Artillery called in on German positions. The fighting also continues down here. 2 has been immobilized and lost one of its guns. We're basically just relying on sextons now to seal in the call-off German position. F1 is needing to charge, but it's not going to be able to do so on its own. They need to take out that Sherman somehow. So we are seeing rapid mobilization being prepared, so that allows the Germans to get their basic troops out a lot faster. Overall, a very good upgrade when I think about it. So all the basic troops are just cheaper to call in and replace. Really good. We also have a Hauptmann here present for the cut-off force. Oh, they use the Sanitätspunkt as retreat point. Okay, that's very, very smart actually. Thanks to him present, so they can kind of hold the line. They're actually even pushing up on the British despite being cut off. They're just trying to apply pressure, I guess. That is going to be a white phosphorus grenade though. But Germans are moving quick. And also the Germans have to fall back there briefly. On the other flank, it's not looking that good for the Germans still. They need to push through there somehow. They really need to get this point. But I think the Americans know it, which is why all the troops are stationed here. With machine guns and such. But the Stuk and the 25th are still holding the line here. Oh, big push here from the New Zealanders and the... Oh, armored rifleman getting a good bazooka shot there in on the Stuk. Well, definitely repairs. Well, the fight continues up here. Hauptmann and Panzergrenadiers are preparing. They just need an opening. Oh, Sherman going into the base. I don't think the Germans can hold for much longer. They're not looking good at all. They're losing most of their packs. Now, you can actually entrench German buildings in the base, so they can fight from them, as you can see. Artillery going in, though. Artillery going into the pack positions as well. Germans have just been too cut off and shelled.
Enemy forces are securing our territory. is out of contact.
Oh boy, so yeah, these German troops in their farm here just entirely encircled and don't even matter. Because the Allies are just pushing it towards the main German base. At this point, the Germans pull out. They've lost this fight. Very good encirclement for the United States by pushing up to this cutoff point. I liked it. I'll see you on the next one, everyone. Bye-bye.